Hello everyone, my name is Tom, welcome back to the Roundtable, and today we have some news regarding Rocko's Modern Life Static Cling, the 90s Nicktoon reboot movie heading to Netflix this weekend. Now obviously part of the charm of Rocko's Modern Life back in the day was the fact that they never shied away from confronting the social world of that time period. It didn't matter that the show was being presented to children, they aimed to create a caricature of the modern world without holding anything back. But even with all of the dirty jokes that Rocko managed to get away with back in the day, something that was still not okay in the 90s was coming right out and portraying LGBT plus characters and their stories. But now, Joe Murray, Rocko's creator, is happy to take full advantage of both the 21st century's changing culture and Netflix's looser guidelines to transition Rachael Bighead, who was once known back in the 90s as Ralph Bighead, into a canon trans woman and making that a prominent part of the story in Static Cling. Now, I can already see the comments saying that this is pandering, or this is forced, but this actually makes perfect sense. The entire premise of the movie is that Rocko and friends were trapped in space and arrived back on Earth to find that they aren't in the 90s anymore. The point of this movie is to portray Rocko, Heifer, and Filbert experiencing the culture shock of going from the 1990s to modern day, and a big part of that has to be the change in social landscape and how the LGBT plus community has become more accepted in society, relatively speaking of course. So portraying a story of these characters accepting their old friend for her new identity and having that character come out to her parents and have them have to learn to accept her for who she is falls perfectly in line with the spirit of what Rocko's Modern Life is all about. Murray expressed that when Nickelodeon first offered the opportunity to make a new installment to Rocko's Modern Life, he really had to think about it, because he was so proud of the work that he and his team had already done. He said that if he was going to do it again, it would have to incorporate the same level of satire and social commentary that the original series did, but translate that into the modern world. Murray himself said that he couldn't think of any better way to do that than to make a story about trans acceptance, because it both captures the change in society over the last 20 years, as well as a story of courage and self-discovery. I understand that for some this news may be worrying, and the fact that a lot of stories have promised to offer LGBT plus representation in the past, only to fall flat. But there's a lot of hope in the fact that the crew reached out to GLAAD, the Gay and Lesbian Alliance Against Defamation, and got Nick Adams, the organization's director for trans representation, to consult on the portrayal of Rachael Bighead in Static Cling. Adams worked with the team to make sure the feminine aspects of Rachael's character design were not played up for jokes, and said that he was pleasantly surprised at the way her identity was treated as a non-issue in the outline. So it's obvious that there was a lot of care, effort, and resources dedicated to giving the trans community positive representation in this movie. I also think it's worth noting that Rocko being one of the shows that gets brought up in discussions about the days when shows weren't afraid to be edgy and push the envelope, now telling a story like this is really important, because it goes to show that being sensitive to the portrayal of marginalized groups and making social commentary driven comedy don't have to be mutually exclusive. That just because you slap the word satire on something doesn't mean you can't also be responsible in how you tackle subjects like this. But of course, we aren't going to talk about something like this without wanting to hear what you think. What do you think of Rocko's Modern Life Static Cling taking such a bold direction in their story? You can let us know in the comments below, or you can hit us up on Twitter, Facebook, and Instagram at RoundtableVids, or you can find me on Twitter, Tumblr, and Instagram at TommyPQM. If you enjoyed this video, be sure to give it a like and share it with your friends. Make sure you are subscribed to the Roundtable, and if you haven't already, click the bell to never miss a video. If you want to go above and beyond to support the Roundtable, you can click the join button down below to become a channel member, or pledge to us on Patreon, all down below. As always, my name is Tom, thank you so much for watching, and I hope you have an awesome day. See ya!